Whether you're a child or an adult, it's never too late to learn something new. Check this out.
Now more than ever, Americans face an important crossroads in the history of this country. We'll need a fresh crop of leaders to overcome the educational challenges that lay ahead.
So leadership is hard, right? And I would say leadership is harder than actually getting the job that gives you the title of being a leader. The key is actually knowing the community, knowing the context, understanding root issues, and owning the problems that not only you are encountering in that moment, but the history. And that's part of the problem within our schools and society today, is that we're not willing to own the things that happened, the harm that existed before we arrived on scene.
If we're really honest, this is just factual. Public schools were started in 1635. It was designed for white male students. That same system is the system that we're now trying to educate white students, black students, Latinx students, indigenous students, Native, all these students from different backgrounds in a system that was designed for one group. Equity is a buzzword right now, but we define equity as each person, both children and adults, getting what they each need in a system that is designed to center their needs.
With 18 years of experience turning educators into leaders, the Leadership Academy is an organization that's built around the core principle that every child in school deserves a chance to grow and excel.
Our schools are like the nucleus, right, of our community. They sit at the center. We have this false notion that our schools are in some ways separate from society, that when we walk into our schools, we walk through this veil, and our kids and our teachers and our leaders, but really, the problems of society live within our schools. Everything that we're experiencing on a day-to-day basis, everything we read about in the news, everything that is going on in our society, they also live as a microcosm within our schools. That is why schools, represent such a huge lever for change within our society. The Leadership Academy started in 2003, so we're almost 20 years old. And we started specifically to support the aspiring principal. We wanted to diversify the role of school leader in New York City. There are more women and more leaders of color in that role. The other thing we wanted to do is to make sure that our leaders were leaders for social justice.
At the Leadership Academy, we believe that the principal is the key driver or lever for change at the unit of the school. There's this whole myth around being a born natural leader. No, leadership can be cultivated, developed, taught, their skills, their practices. Often we think that it's like once you finish school, you're done learning, but learning is a lifelong endeavor. And so we have a set of beliefs about the ways in which adults learn that are anchored in research and practice.
When I became superintendent, I was really looking for an organization of experts around leadership at all levels to help me navigate my school system as a new superintendent. The Leadership Academy impacted me greatly, and I would say impacted me in a very positive way. To be able to partner with an organization that understands leadership and is courageous in its approach to address equity. And in fact, I would say they're unapologetic.
So my experience with the Leadership Academy probably spans decades, from my first year as a principal all the way up until I became executive superintendent of the Bronx, the brownest borough in New York City. My why is rooted in interrupting systemic racism, creating opportunities to close the achievement gap for students of color.
The person who's the best person for the program has a vision. They think they have a calling for leadership, and we come in and we work with you where you are to move your practice forward. And if you say, I have the will, but I might not have the skill, I can work with you.
We're the partner you call when you want someone who understands your experience, someone who has been in your role, someone who will tell you the truth, someone who will hold up a big mirror to yourself and help you see how your leadership either advances or gets in the way of your mission.
If you want to have an authentic learning experience, if you want to learn from practitioners in the field, the Leadership Academy is the place in which that happens.
To learn more about the Leadership Academy, visit leadershipacademy.org or go to our website, thebalancingAct.com.